Hello, YouTube. It's me, John Avenger, once again, and welcome to another Movies with People of Color month. This is a 2024 movie that was on streaming. It was supposed to be in theaters on Paramount Plus. It's based on a 2003 novel of the same name by Lawrence Yep, produced by Paramount Animation and Jane Starr's production. Is directed by Ramin Hu and co-directed by Paul Waitling and Young Duk Hun, from a screenplay written by David McGee and Christopher Yost. The film stars the voices of Brandon Suhu, Henry Golding, Lucy Liu, Sandra Oh, and Michelle Yeoh, the Tiger's Apprentice. This is actually pretty good. It wasn't that bad. This movie is a prime example of an animated film that should have been in theaters last year or earlier this year, because movies like this are much better than a lot of the theatrical animated movies we get now. And yeah, because look at last year. We had Elemental, which did mid. You had Ruby Gilman, that didn't do well. You had the Paw Patrol movie was cute and that did well, but there's a lot of movies that just didn't do well animated wise. They released them in theaters and I don't know why. Like the My Little Pony movie, why was that in theaters and not this? This film is short. Yes, that's one of the flaws I have with it. It's about an hour and 12 minutes. It's very short. If it was feature length, if it was like 90 minutes, it would have made it to theaters. It came out last Friday on Groundhog's Day, and it was a really entertaining movie. It got mixed reactions from the critics, but who cares about the critics? Cartoon Network originally opted to produce a live-action CG hybrid television series back in the late 2000s, but it never came to fruition. Of course not. They didn't have the budget. Paramount later acquired the rights for an animated film in March of 2019. Blah, blah, blah. Much of the voice cast was revealed between 2020 and 2022. And, originally planned for a theatrical release. Again, this should have been in theaters, not on direct-to-streaming. The Tiger's Apprentice was released on Paramount Plus February 2nd after being delayed several times due to the COVID pandemic. Even though it's an animated film, not live action. The film received mixed reviews, yeah. It's not perfect. Like I said, Henry Golding, he's not a good voice actor. He wasn't good in Snake Eyes. He wasn't good in Star Wars Visions. He's just not a good actor to me. The rest of the cast does fine. I think Brandon Suhu is a good lead as Tom Lee. You have Lucy Liu as Nu Kwai and Cynthia, the Empress that he sees in his vision, and Cynthia as a frog. Yeah, you have Sandra Oh as the Mistral, not Minstrel. The Dragon Guardian, she's cool. Michelle Yeoh is the villain, one of the best villains I've seen this year, as Lu, the evil sorceress. Bowen Yang Sydney, the Rat Guardian, he's the best character. I like him. He's very funny, he's cute, and he has a personality that shines. You have Leah Lewis. She was in Elemental. She was Rav, Lu's foster daughter and Tom's love interest. And you have Kei Hu Tan, the grandmother, Tom's grandmother, she's played by the mom that was in Kung Fu on the CW. Sherry Cola was the monkey guardian. Joe Coy was the rooster. Yeah, it's a good cast. It's mostly an Asian cast, and it works. They're of color, and the film has great action. The action sequences. There's an animated sequence that looks straight out of Spider-Verse. There's a scene where he has a vision and he sees this big image. The way he moves is is very similar to the Spider-Verse movies and that Ninja Turtles movie that came out last year. It's the only scene in the movie like that, but it worked because I was invested in the story, the action, and the plot, and the sense of humor that it had, a sense of charm and colors, had vibrant colors in my face. Yeah, it was supposed to come out, it says originally scheduled for a theatrical release on February 11, 2022, but due to the COVID-19 pandemic, it was delayed until February of last year, and then later December, and it was then further delayed. This guy delayed a lot. If they didn't want this movie, why did they just dump it on streaming? It's good. It's actually well made. Yeah. The production doesn't look cheap. Yeah, the animation is not, it's not Pixar, it's not the Mario movie, it's not even DreamWorks, but it's not The Asylum. And it's not, like Sony Pictures, where they did movies like, even the Emoji Movie. The animation wasn't the problem, but this animation looks better than that. I can say that, even for something direct to streaming. And it has a better cast and a better plot. And it doesn't have a bunch of references in it that we don't need. No, it's got fast flowing story, and they don't have to spend the first half of the movie in a high school, because we've seen that already in other Asian stories and other, in comic book movies and CW shows and cartoons. Yeah, we've seen it before. Kid gets picked in school, then has powers, and then has to hide it from people. We've seen it. Even Invincible did that just a few years ago, and I'm like, that did it better because it's for adults, but this is for kids. There's no foul language in it. It's not too violent. The action is well done, and they can see it is safe. There's nothing gay in it, which is great because we don't need that anymore. It's been overplayed, and it's short, so it won't cost you a lot of time. This is an hour shorter than Across the Spider-Verse. An hour shorter. See, you don't have to make everything 2.5 hours to fill a quota. You can get in between 90 minutes or less and get it done. I wish this was a little bit longer, but again, if it was released in theaters, it would have to be. But it's fun. Watch it on Paramount Plus. You won't be disappointed. I think you'll like the film a lot. I didn't love it, but I would give it an honorable mention later this year. So I take my hat off to the Asians. At least they gave us a movie worth a damn before Chinese New Year. So thanks for watching. Take care. Acknowledge me, and I'll see you guys in the next review.